So early in my personal training days, I had a client who fired me after 2 months because she lost, quote, only 10 pounds. So after 2 months of training, she was down 10 pounds, but that was not good enough because she truly believed that she should have lost more weight than just 10 pounds in 2 months. And this just goes to highlight the fact that our idea, our perception of what progress looks like is so skewed. And that's because it's been manipulated by the media. And over the last 20 years, social media especially. This just actually demonstrates a bigger point, which is that we don't know. We really don't know that much about health and fitness. We really don't know how the body works and how the body is supposed to respond. Because if you're still walking around with these ideas that I should lose X amount of weight or I should be this far along by this time, completely missed the plot. Like, for example, in all other areas of goal setting, deadlines are good. Deadlines are useful because it keeps you accountable and you know that you have a finish line. When it comes to health and fitness, you cannot say, I am going to lose 30 pounds in 3 months. Because your ideas versus how your body works are two different things. And again, it's not completely your fault because you're only looking at what's shown to you on social media. On social media, no one's sharing average results. All the coaches, all the companies, all the supplement companies, all the fitness equipment brands, they're posting the most exceptional results. They're not saying these results are not typical. They're saying this is what you can do. This is what you should be able to do. So we come in with these very lofty expectations. And further to that, a lot of us come in with these deadlines based on some arbitrary date and some arbitrary event. So we'll say, I want to lose 30 pounds in 3 months because in 3 months I'm going on vacation. In 5 months I have a wedding. So it's usually tied to some event. What it's never tied to is reality, because your overall lifestyle, there's so many lifestyle variables that will determine from person to person how fast or slow your progress will be. If you're single and you don't have children and you have all the time in the world, then you are going to have faster progress than somebody who is married, has a family, works 12 hours a day. If you have unlimited resources, you can buy the best supplements, you can invest in the best gym, you can invest in trainers, you can invest in nutritionists. If you're on a small budget, you've got to figure out ways to make it work. That affects your timeline as well. Then also genetically, everyone's body is different. There are at least 4 genetic markers for obesity. Some people have 1, some people have 2, some people have all 4. If you have none of the markers, your body can progress faster. If you have all 4 markers, you could be doing exactly the same thing as person A, but it's going to take you a much longer time. Your metabolic rate, your hormones, there are so many things at play that make it hard to determine how fast you can see results. But even further to that, if we're still hung up on how fast, we are still missing the point about what it means to lead a healthy, active life. Because listen, when you start your life, you graduate high school, you get your job, you get married, you start your family, you go through this phase in life where time just disappears and you blink and 10, 15 years have gone by. You've got grown children getting into high school, you've got children in college. You don't know where the time went. And then you look at yourself and you're like, what happened here? Your body's just not what it used to be. All the while, when we are neglecting our health and fitness, we're never once thinking how long I've neglected my body, how long it's taken my body to actually come to this point where I'm 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight and I can't move the way I used to. I don't get good sleep anymore. We're never paying attention to how long it takes the scale to go up. But if we did, we would know that it's not an overnight thing. It's not a week thing. It's not a month thing. It's a year thing. It's over the course of years that we gain weight, and over the course of years that we lose mobilities, over the course of the years that we get less and less sleep, that we feel stiffer and stiffer, that our vitality just dips. But then when we finally get a stroke of inspiration, we'll say, get it all back in a matter of months. Like, that's not reality. It's going to take you at least 6 months to undo the bad habits you formed and integrate new habits that can actually stick. And for a long time, there's this idea circulating that it takes 21 days to form a habit. If it took 21 days to form a habit, everyone would be fit. Everyone would just spend 3 weeks going to the gym, eating healthy, and then boom, it's a habit. Clearly, that's not true. What is true, statistically, if you integrate any healthy habit into your life, you need to be doing it for at least 6 months for it to be more likely that it's going to be a lifelong change. 6 months, not 21 days. And that means that you're not undoing the last 10 years of your life. Because it's not only weight gain we're battling, right? We're battling against our aging body. We're battling against our limited mobility. We're battling against less stamina, less energy, achy joints, and then also all of the responsibilities that come with living a full life. Work, family, relationships, friends, social life. There's so many more variables that you have to pay attention to that make it difficult for you to just change everything in a short span of time. And then the other thing is the scale. First of all, I'm a big advocate of weighing yourself regularly. I weigh myself twice a day. I weigh myself in the morning and I weigh myself in the evening. And I've been doing it for so long, I'm able to understand when I'm at my heaviest at certain points in the week and when I'm at my lightest, so that I don't freak out if I see the scale go up and down. But if your only metric, if your only measure of progress is the scale, it's probably not a good idea for you to weigh yourself often until you get over that anxiety. The other thing is, you have to accept that you're never a single number on the scale. If you jump on the scale 3 times in a day at different times, you will have a different weight. It can be as little as 0.2 or 0.3 all the way up to 3-4 pounds. And depending on how heavy you are, the heavier you are, the more your weight fluctuates. Because if you wake up in the morning on an empty stomach, you'll be lighter. The minute you eat something and drink something, your weight goes up. Did you go to the bathroom that morning? If you weigh before and after you go to the bathroom, your weight's different. And what's really your true weight? Is it right when you wake up, before you eat anything, right after you go to the bathroom? Our body is always doing something. It's always in some fluid motion of digestion, perspiration. We sweat, we lose weight. We don't sweat, we retain water weight. Everything has an impact on the scale. And then there's also fat loss versus weight loss. This is how these supplement companies have made billions of dollars stealing money from us, because they know that we just care about the number. We don't actually care if it's fat loss. We just want to see the number go down. So sure, if you're someone that has a carb-heavy diet, carb-heavy means you're eating lots of bread and pasta and rice. The minute you cut that out for 5 to 7 days, you're going to drop a lot of weight, because carbohydrates make your body retain more water weight. So when you stop eating those carbohydrates, that water weight disappears. And it looks like your trainer or this new weight loss program you're on is the next best thing, because you've dropped 5 to 7 pounds in the first week. But it's just water weight. It's not actually fat. But we don't care about that. I can't tell you how many times I've had to talk clients off a ledge because they only lost 4 pounds. But then when we do their body measurements, they've lost 6, 7, 8 inches. Their legs are thinner, their arms are thinner, their abdomen, midsection is all gone down, because they've actually put on a little bit of muscle and their body composition has changed. But they're only hung up on 4 pounds lost and not paying attention to 7 inches lost. And this is actually one of the reasons, I'm going back to my client who fired me for losing only 10 pounds. This is why sometimes we often quit even when we're progressing, because we think the progress is too slow. This actually shows how ungrateful we are. We can spend years not seeing any progress. And when we finally see progress, we'll be like, well, it's not fast enough. So I always like to make this comparison. If we see 2 people and they both lost 30 pounds, one did it over 3 months, the other one did it over a year. The majority of us will flock to the person who did it in 3 months because it was faster. But the reality is, you actually want to pay attention to the person who did it over a year, because they were able to maintain that weight loss for a year, which means they have a much higher likelihood of keeping that weight loss and even progressing further in the next year. The person who lost it in 3 months, how fast you lose it has no indication as to whether you can keep it off. You can go on a juice cleanse. You can cut out carbs for 3 months. You can do all sorts of quick fix things, but none of it is sustainable. But all these factors point to the bigger issue where we're so consumed with getting things done quickly that many of us unfortunately quit even when we're progressing, when the only thing to do in those moments is to keep going. People who've been in fitness for 20 years are still improving. There's no end goal. There's no finish line. You actually will never get to a point where you're like, this is it, I'm good. The work never stops, but year to year, not month to month or week to week, year to year, you keep improving. And every year you can get better and better. The people that have amazing bodies, the people who are confident to wear a swimsuit and take their shirt off, those people, no one there, you can ask any one of them, how long it took them, and the answer you will never hear is how many months or how many weeks. It will be how many years. So instead of spending 10, 15, 20 years always trying to find some quick hack, invest 6 to 12 months to changing your habits, doing things the right way. And once that becomes a part of your lifestyle, you actually get to enjoy this snowball effect where things begin to compound and your results come faster and faster. But only after you commit to the work of changing the habits and doing things slowly and accepting things as they come. That's the only time you can have a breakthrough. So forget fast results, forget the scale, forget about how long it's going to take you. Stop quitting while you're progressing. If you're progressing, progress is progress. And the more you keep at it, the better you will get.